Hi, guys. So, I have been doing my purge. I have been really getting rid of stuff. And it's funny because everything I move out, it feels like it makes room. It's like I have a new idea. I'm like, oh, it's like the more space I create in my physical environment, the more space I'm creating in my mind. And that feels amazing. So, if you are new here, I'm Casey Jones. I am currently fun employed, I guess. I was a part of a really successful girl group for about 9 years and no longer am. And I have been going so hard in entertainment since my 20s, really. And now I'm 42 and I find myself with this space. And my normal reaction would be to just like drive forward. But for some reason, right now, I just feel like stopping and taking some space for myself. And I've been sitting with this quote, and I can't remember where I heard this recently, but it is actually, let me look to make sure I get this right. What do you want for yourself when you're not trying to please anyone else? And I know I've asked myself that before, but I don't know that I've ever been fully honest in my answer. And so I've really been sitting with that lately. What do I want for myself when I'm not trying to please anyone else? And as a person who loves to collaborate, who is married, who is a part of a group, who is the eldest daughter, big sister, auntie, and just grew up, a girl in the 90s, like people pleasing was part of our conditioning. So even though I've thought about it before, I think it has taken a lot of undoing to be able to think about it honestly. And right now, when I think about what I want, if I'm not trying to please anyone else, it is space, space, ease, breath. It is my own pace, right? Like, I realize that we all have our own unique pace or paces. Uh, and that mine is kind of slow and then fast, and it's kind of like, um, and that doesn't work well for the society in which we are all a part, right? Like we are trained from youth that we are up at this time and we learn to obey. I mean, school is amazing. I believe in education. Education is incredible, but so much of our school system is the social conditioning to obey. We're graded, yes, on our test scores, but we're also graded on behavior. And in a perfect world, that would make sense. But in a world where we have racism, sexism, bias, like all of these things, all of those affect how children are treated and how their behavior is perceived. So I think that I have like most of us was indoctrinated into a system of this kind of corporate scheduling of our whole lives and existence that doesn't work for me when I'm operating in a creative space. It just doesn't. And for the first time in my life, I'm accepting that I just don't work well in that structure when I'm working creatively, when I'm working on music, or when I'm exploring emotion, or it's at all, etc. Right? When I'm in a corporate environment, sure. Like if I'm working in an office, yes. But I think that I'm realizing I've spent a long time punishing myself for not functioning well in those parameters and feeling like something is wrong with me, instead of just confidently saying like, oh, this doesn't work. This isn't my pace. This doesn't work for me when I'm working for myself. And I found that I do that not just in work environments, but in every environment. I adapt. I'm a very adaptable person in general. And I love working with people and I love being a helper. But I've realized that I so often adapt to other people's pace just because it's easier. Just because I can. But what happens when you do that, when you become so adaptable or you become so much of a people pleaser, is you do lose parts of yourself, and you forget who you are. And that's what I'm realizing in this time at 42 years old, is that I have always thought that I knew myself really well. And I'm realizing that I knew the parts of myself that I allowed to exist really well. I knew the parts of myself that I deemed acceptable really, really well. And then there were these other parts that it's like I know them in my subconscious, but I've kind of done this because I don't think, or I didn't think they would be understood or accepted or bring value to other people. And isn't that interesting? So when I'm thinking, what do I want if I don't have to worry about pleasing anyone else? Or what did it say? What do you want for yourself when you're not trying to please anyone else? Really, what I want for myself is the space to fully step in to who I am and to allow myself to take up the space within my psyche and within my own life that I need to accomplish the creative endeavors that I wish to accomplish. And sitting in this has made me realize how much I haven't done that. Like, even now, when I've carved out this time to make this video, I am thinking, oh, my husband's going to be home soon, and there's all of these things that I want to do to make sure home is spectacular for him when he gets home. And I think that's great, like, of course. But I will put other people's comfort in front of my own comfort, my own work, my own pulling, that thing that just makes you feel like I'm supposed to follow this and go that direction. I will literally shunt everything and put something simple or kind of innocuous for someone else in front of it. And I have been really rewarded for that quality. Like, that is a quality that I get so much positive validation and affirmation for having. Because who doesn't love someone who makes their life easier or who's caring for them, right? Like, who doesn't? I love that. But I think often the people who are benefiting from the extreme version of those behaviors don't actually realize. Like, people don't know. People say, oh, thank you. That's so sweet that she's always here to help with this, but they're not asking what you are sacrificing to be there. And what I realized is that I also wasn't asking myself that. And that's not cool. That's not cool. So yeah, as I sit with what do I want? Why can't I just remember this quote specifically? What would I want? What do you want for yourself when you're not trying to please anyone else? What do I want for myself when I'm not trying to please anyone else? Is space. At 42, what I want for myself when I'm not trying to please anyone else is time and space to move at my own pace. Can you relate to that? I'd love to hear your thoughts about it. All right. I gotta go because my husband's gonna be home in a few minutes and I have to make some chicken. Okay. Oh, I will say this though. Your girl has been working on music, and let me tell you something. F major is really hard. I'm not even going to attempt it right now because my fingers hurt from attempting it all day. Oh God. But yeah, I've got a couple songs that I fit really, like there's something there, and I'm excited. So maybe I'll share some soon. Okay. I love you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what would you want for yourself what do you want for yourself when you are not trying to please anyone else? Tell me in the comments. Okay. Okay, we'll talk soon. Love you. Bye.